I'm Sarah, and it's time for Coffee and Crochet with Sarah. Now, this is our live video chat that we do over on the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page. We do this every Tuesday, unless there's some unforeseen, of course, circumstances. We try to do this every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m., and that's Mountain Time. So you'll need to check how that corresponds with your time wherever you're located, okay? But that's 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And I have a full table today of a lot of really fun things that we're going to talk about and do. We're going to announce what the February giveaway is today. We're going to also make some scrunchies. I'm wearing one now because scrunchies are back, especially velvet scrunchies. And I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of velvet yarn that I had plans for, but I haven't used it yet. But also, this particular way I'm going to show you how to do a scrunchie. You can use any yarn and any weight yarn for this, whether it's a fuzzy yarn or a thin yarn. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. I also want to tell you about a wonderful yarn find I found on Saturday when my husband and I think it was Sunday actually. Sunday, when my husband and I were out doing some shopping. I also want to tell you about our crochet along that we started yesterday. And we also have a couple of new patterns that we did, including this one that's back there. And so we do have a lot of things to talk about today. All right, I want to wait just a few more minutes to talk about the giveaway. Looks like a lot of you have come in. It looks great to see you all. Good morning to everybody. And the first thing we need to do is clink in. All right, so I've got my coffee mug. It's empty. The reason is I'm having a little bit of issues with my kidneys again, and so I'm drinking lemon water, which I really love lemon water, so it's okay. I'm just not drinking coffee this morning. I had 1 cup this morning. I'm just cutting back a little on the coffee and drinking a little bit more lemon water. And it's really refreshing. I like to slice lemons, oranges, and limes, sometimes separate and sometimes together. Sometimes I'll put peaches, but the citrus is really good if you have some kidney issues. All right, so I've got my cup though. And let's go ahead and clinkety, clink, 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 and all right, are you ready to hear about what the February giveaway is? All righty, so I have decided that the February giveaway is going to be one of my cups. And if you already have one, it's no big deal to get a second one, right? Because I ordered 3 because I'm clumsy. All right, so the way this is going to work is I'm announcing what it is today. You're going to get a coffee and crochet with Sarah mug if you're the winner of the February giveaway. You have 2 weeks to enter. How do you enter? Super simple. All you have to do is comment on this live here on Facebook, or once we get it over to the YouTube channel, you comment there. Then we use the random generator and we choose a winner. I don't choose the winner, the random generator does. So then what will happen is I will order the cup from Magic Mug Creations, who has graciously helped us get our mugs out. And remember, I don't make any money on these mugs. Only Magic Mug Creations does. And I'm just thrilled to be able to buy from a small business. And I think that's very important. All right, so I'll order it from them and I'll have them send it to you as a gift if you're the winner of the Coffee and Crochet with Sarah coffee mug. And it'll be like this one. It'll be the white ceramic with the logo on the front. All right? Okay, so you got 2 weeks. And all of you that have already commented, you're already entered. It's that simple. Alrighty. I just thought it would be super fun to do that, to give away a mug. I usually, give away my bags, but I thought it would be fun to do it this way this time. And I know there's a lot of people that have said they want one, but they just haven't been able to order or don't have the money. And here's an opportunity for you to use it. And remember, you don't have to drink coffee out of it. Tea, chai tea, you know what else you can do with these? You can bake a cake in them. I buy those where you get 4 cake mixes in a box and they're little bitty and you mix them in a mug and you stick them in your microwave for a minute. These are perfect for that. As long as it's ceramic, it works just fine. And it's just enough cake where you're not overdoing your calories or your sugar. I probably shouldn't have told you about that, huh? All right, so the February giveaway will be a Coffee and Crochet with Sara coffee or tea or cake mug. Alrighty. All right, now let's get right over to our crochet together. This is a surprise crochet together. I hadn't planned to do this. I just know my granddaughters both love velvet scrunchies. So I thought we would do this super easy. And again, you don't have to have velvet yarns. All right, so what I have here, I'm wearing one, and then here's a couple that I made. And they're super easy to make. Now, I've got several different kinds of velvet here. Here's the Lion brand Velux. This is Bernat crushed velvet. This is Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth. This is Baby Velvet Adorball. Bumblebee Wings is the color. And these are just some that I have. I have a bunch more. Okay, but you don't have to use velvet yarns. You can use any yarns that you want to. I'm going to use velvet because that's what my granddaughters love. All right, now, let me move this out of the way over here. We're going to make them like this. And so what you need is just some hair bands. I like these because they don't have those metal things on the back. It's just your basic hair band. I don't know if it has a size on here or not. I don't see anything on there. It's just your basic one for a ponytail. And if you have them bigger, you can do the same technique on ones that are bigger. We're going to use our H hook today, which is a 5.0. You'll need a needle for weaving in your ends, and you'll need your scissors. Now, one other thing that I use only when I'm using the velvet yarns is this glue. And the reason is velvet yarns like to loosen with use, and they don't stay put. And if you don't tell, shh, I'm also going to use a knot. All right, so I'm going to make a yellow one. Let's move these out of the way. And here's my yellow yarn. Move some things out of the way here. I'm going to use this band. All right, so what you do is you take your yarn and you make your slip knot. Put your hook in there, and this needs to be done loosely. If you tend to be a tight crocheter, you might even want to go up a hook size or two on your hook. All right, so we'll take our band, we'll go around, we'll pull that loop up, and we're just going to make a slip knot there. And then we're going to chain 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, this chain 4 counts as a double crochet, chain 1. All right, so we're going to stitch a double crochet around the band. And this is a little clumsy at first until you get used to it. And chain 1. And all you're going to do is you're going to continue to stitch double crochet, chain 1 around the band. Now there isn't a set number of stitches that you need. You just need to make sure that you cover up that band. Now I have tried in the past to buy the bands that are the different colors so that I can match them to my yarns, and that works also. All right, but sometimes, you just don't have the right color. And as long as you just scrunch it in there, make it nice and tight, and see I've got that all scrunched in there. And this one has 45 sets of double crochet chain 1. I think this one only has 40, and you can see it's not as tight. So it's kind of up to you how many you want to put on there. And so you're just going to continue stitching double crochet, chain one as many times as will fit around the band. Now don't stretch the band out. Okay, don't put more and then stretch it out and put more on. Leave the band unstretched when you're adding on all of your stitches. All right, now I have a yellow one that I've already got going. And I put a bunch on there. And you can add as many as will fit. Okay, until you're happy that you like how many are on there. The more that you put, the more ripply yours will be. And I like a lot because I don't want that band to show. All right. And so this one's all nice and covered. This is our beginning tail of yarn. We'll put it to the back. And once you get as many as you want around on your band, you're going to join to the chain 3 of that beginning chain 4 with a slip stitch and cut your yarn. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next stitch. I'm going to pull that loop to the back and tie off to the back. Now, you can take your needle and weave this in if you want to. But I have found with these, because you're going to use them a lot, they're going to get stretched out, put over your ponytails, and probably twisted like mine is that I don't do that. I just take the two ends and, shh, don't tell anyone who crochets, I tie knots. And the reason I do this is, like I said, this velvet yarn, it just comes undone like crazy. All right. And when you use it a lot and stretch it, it's going to come undone. All right. And we don't want that to come undone. And that's why I take my Aleene's fabric glue, and there are other fabric glues that you can use. And if you want to use a hot glue or even the E6000, you can. I just kind of prefer this one for this. Okay. And you just take it and add just a little bit right to that knot. More there. Looks like I'm a little bit clogged. There we go. All right, just a little bit right to that knot. And what that will do is that will help that knot not come undone. Now don't put this right on right away after you've put that glue on there, because that's going to dry a little bit hard. And so I just set them aside, and then when they're dry, you know, an hour or so, then you can put them on. Okay, so I broke 2 rules today. I tied knots and I used glue. But this is not a baby blanket or a hat. You know, this is a scrunchie that's going to get used and stretched a lot. And I don't want something that I made to come apart. And they're super easy to make. You can use this same technique with any weight yarn. You can use the blanket yarns. You can use any of your fun fur or, you know, fuzzy yarns. And all you do, even if the yarn is thinner, is you just continue to keep double crochet chain 1 until the whole band is completely filled around. It's super easy. And you know, velvet scrunchies are major popular right now. And so these are going to go to my granddaughters. The one I'm wearing, I'm going to keep, and I'll make them some more. So, and I have a video out there on some that I did where you can add beads to them. You know, whatever you want, however you want to design them, you can. If you want to add beads to them, just thread those beads on before you get started, and you push one up and put it in that chain 1 spot as you go around, and then you got beads all around the edge. And there's a lot that you can really do with them. And the thing is, you can buy a pack like this of 15 for what, $3 or $4, and then you've got a bunch you can make. And my granddaughter wears them on her wrist a lot of times, but she's got a lot of hair, and then when her hair gets in her way, she just puts it up, you know, in her scrunchie. So I thought it would be fun to talk about that today. Okay, so don't tell anyone. This is our little secret that I tied knots and I used a little bit of glue. Okay, are you ready to find out about my yarn find this week? Well, you know, I told you that I was disappointed because I was trying to find some anniversary cakes. I think it's Lion brand. I'll just grab it right here. Okay, so my husband and I were out. We were actually shopping for sheets at Bed Bath & Beyond, and we happened to go into Michael's next door, and look what I found. Anniversary cakes. This is a bulky number 6. It has 35.3 ounces, and I bought 2 of these in this color. It's called Spice Soiree. I love it. And I bought 2. And I needed 2. So I have another one I can do something else with. But I went online on Michael's and I tried to buy them. And then my order would go through and then I would get a notice that says discontinued item. And so if you don't have these, they're gone. Okay. Now you can find them on Amazon and eBay and some other places, but they're super duper expensive. If you can get to your local Michael's, they're on sale right now for $14.99. Originally they were $35. Okay, so that's about $30 to make a really big blanket. And the reason I wanted this is I have a crochet pattern that calls for this much yarn, and it is a thick and chunky blanket with a hood. And I made it probably 5 years ago, maybe. And I used it, maybe even 10, now that I think about it. I used it a lot when we went camping because it's the perfect thing to just throw on to go for a walk, or because you can put it on and wrap it around you because it has a hood, sit in front of the fire, or just cozy up with it. And I just loved it. Actually, I had a friend make one in the Broncos colors and wore it to the Broncos game, and it started raining and snowing, and she was perfectly warm. So, yeah, you can use it for that as well. If your child plays sports and it's cold, a hooded blanket is great. And then if you don't need the hood, you can just fold it up and not use it. So the pattern's already out there, but I wanted 2 of these in the same color to do. And I really love that it's this colorway because it's not your typical like pinks and purples. It's, you know, yellows and browns, and I really like that. And Red Heart has a ombre that is browns and beiges, and it's one of my favorites for some reason. It just is warm and comforting to me. Kind of reminds me of, you know, cappuccino or coffee. So anyway, that is a lot of yarn that I got really inexpensively, and I was so excited when we went in there. So anyway, I'm really blessed because I have a Hobby Lobby and a Michael's within a few miles of me. And then I have a Joann's that's about maybe 25 miles from me, not far. And so I'm really, really blessed. I do go to Walmart and look for yarn occasionally, but they are just not good at all about keeping it stocked or making sure the prices are right and putting things in the wrong places. And it's just always a mess. And it bugs me to go in there and there's yarn on the floor and it's all dirty. Because I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to buy dirty yarn. And so I don't go in there that much. So anyway, that was my fantastic yarn find. I do want to tell you that I have 2 yarn boxes coming in. And I'll do some unboxing on here in the next couple of weeks. I've got one coming from Hirschner's. And then I've got one coming from Lion brand. And I'm actually hoping to get the 3rd one coming from Premier. We'll see if they do. So anyway, I love to do unboxings. They're super fun just to see what is sent. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's my fantastic yarn find. Let's talk about crochet patterns that we did this week. I'm going to click over to this other camera and show you up close. This, let me grab some water real quick. This is my healing butterfly scarf and cowl. I designed this a few years ago when I was first diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And January is Thyroid Awareness Month. And so I did some patterns, and I've got some other ones I'm going to be updating as well. And I love this pattern. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The teal shades in this yarn is part of what makes it beautiful. And you can see those little pinched sections look like butterflies. And I really love this pattern. It's really easy. You can make it as short or as long as you want by just continuing the repeats. You can put the two ends together, make it a cowl, or you can leave the ends apart and it's a scarf. And so it's one of my favorites that I did a few years ago. And so we just updated the pattern, made a brand new video. And I like to do that because a lot of times yarn that I used, 10 years ago to make a pattern is no longer available. And that's what happened with this one. I think it was about 4 years ago. The yarn that I used is no longer available. And so I decided to go ahead and update the pattern. The other thing that we did this week is the Sleepy Bear Lovey with a teether. And I love this little thing. I have made bunches of these. This is my go-to pattern for baby showers. I find out what they're doing their baby's room in or something like that. I'll make this and give this to them. And you can find these at, I think I got this one at Target in a 2-pack. But if you don't want to put a teether on there, because, when they chew on them, they do get a little bit wet, you can find these toys that are a ring. And you can add those on there instead. And I happened to grab this one, this particular color of yarn. It's Baby Cakes from Karen. And these are the Pantone colors this year, which is yellows and grays. And I didn't know that, and someone mentioned that to me. So super cute, super easy, and it's a great last-minute baby shower or just baby gift. All right, now the thing we started yesterday, I'm going to grab this down here. I know I've got a lot I'm showing you. The thing that we'd started yesterday was our hooded shawl with pockets. I was going to come up with this great big fancy name, but I just wanted people to be able to find it, so I didn't. This is the shawl portion that we did. We did it yesterday. That was part 1. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we're going to do part 2, which is going to be the hood and how to attach it to the shawl. Now, I know you're wondering about the edges. Don't worry. In part 3, the first thing that we're going to do is put the trim on. And we wait until after the hood is on because the trim goes across. It goes around the front of the hood, across, down, across the bottom, and back up so that the trim is one whole thing. And then also on part 3, we're going to stitch up the pockets and sew those on. And this is a super duper easy pattern. The center of this is all stitched in double crochets. And the thing is, I striped mine. I used Heat Wave from Red Heart. And you're going to need about 20 ounces total to do the whole thing. And that's really not very much yarn to make a hooded shawl with pockets. And so you don't have to stripe yours. You could use an ombre or a yarn that already is a striping yarn. You could use solids. You could even get in your yarn stash and just use whatever medium weight number 4 yarns that you have and make it fun and crazy, because it depends on what you're going to use it for. I decided to do this one because I didn't want any holes in it, and I wanted it to be warm for in the mornings and evenings when I take the dogs out. I can put that hood on, I can put my hands in the pockets, and I can walk around and tell my dogs to hurry up and go potty, I'm freezing. So anywho, that's what we're working on this week. And I already have some fun things lined up for next week. And I have a birthday pattern that I'm really excited about. And even though I'm using a particular yarn for it, I'm going to explain how you can use some other yarns as well. Okay, because that's kind of what I like to do. I don't want you to think you have to use this particular brand and this particular color of yarn. You use your imagination. The main thing when you're doing a pattern is to stay in the same weight and to use the same crochet hook. that the pattern calls for. Most of the time, and the other thing, what do I always say? Measure as you go. It's important. Most of the time, we're off because we didn't measure. Because everybody stitches differently. We have different tensions and different ways of doing things. My crochet tends to be a little bit loose. So if yours is tighter than mine, make a note. Go up a hook size. Things like that. Well, I'm going to let y'all go, and I'm super thankful that you all watch my videos and come and chat with me. And remember, you can share this video with whoever you want. Just share it on your page if you want to. And also, happy Groundhog's Day. I think it's so much fun. I know it doesn't really mean anything in reality, but it's super fun to do something silly and have a good laugh, don't you think? I'm going to let you go on that, and happy Groundhog's Day.